In today's show, I wanted to discuss kind of systemizing processes within your business, as well as looking at what could you actually automate that could save you a lot of time. Now, I've had a few clients talk to me about this in the last few weeks to see how we could help them, systemize this and actually take some of the tasks off their plate. So that is what we're going to be looking at in today's show. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jason Kruger and I help heart-centered businesses build and automate their online marketing systems. So as I said, looking at systemizing and also implementing some automation within your business. Now, what could these be? What could you actually do? Well, systemizing and the automation part is actually really important within your business, because especially if you are a small business and you don't have a lot of staff, or it might just be you, there are things that you could potentially automate to make sure that things go out on time and that you don't have to worry about it. And in doing the automation part of it, what you're actually doing is you're creating processes and systems within your business. What could these things do? Well, it will reduce time on repetitive tasks. If there's something that you're continually doing, and it could be something that's automated, that will just take some of those tasks off your plate. Proper workflows. If you've got people joining your workshop, then you might want to have a proper process in place so that you're onboarding people the correct way, but also the same way each time, which then allows you to look at these processes and check, is there something that we can tweak to improve it? If you haven't and you're just sending things out when you remember, you don't have that constant workflow, and potentially you're going to miss things as well. You don't want to be missing that critical email and you remember at 11 o'clock at night, and then you're there scrambling trying to write the email and then send it off, only for them to only then maybe see it the next day. So looking at kind of systemizing your processes and then looking to see what could be automated out of that. Now, there are so many different systems out there that you can use to automate a lot of processes. Now, again, it's going to be dependent on what it is that you're trying to systemize. If it's going to be your onboarding emails, for instance, then having just an email autoresponder could do the job. But when I'm looking at these types of processes, are you one that's potentially just using an Excel spreadsheet to manage your client information and putting notes against them, only to either lose that Excel spreadsheet or you can't check it out on your phone? All of a sudden that can become quite unwieldy, especially if you've got a lot of clients and a lot of information that you want to store. Now, if there are any questions regarding anything that I covered today, please leave a comment down below. When it comes to software to help you with your processes and your automation, one of the first ones that I would always look at is a CRM type system. Now, again, there are just so many out there that I'm not going to go through in each one in great detail, but I think you need to look at the features of these systems and see what it is that you want to actually achieve using them. If it is just storing data, then again, there are so many out there that will do that. But choose one that you're comfortable using and that you are going to use. Look at the interface. Is it intuitive to you? Will you be able to find the information that you want? If you don't look at that, what's just going to end up happening is you'll set it up, and then 6 months later, you'll think, oh yeah, I had this system to do all of this, but I've stopped using it because I didn't like it. So, take some time to look at the different systems. Now, if you want to really start automating, like sending out of emails, etc., I would look at a CRM system that does have an email autoresponder system. Now, again, there are a few out there. The ones that I've used and recommend are in Fusionsoft. Again, depending on what it is that you're trying to do, Infusionsoft might just be too big a program and maybe too expensive, and it's not something that you all need. But the one that I recommend wholeheartedly to my clients is ActiveCampaign. Now, the reason for that is it does have the CRM type features in it, even in their light program, because you can store custom fields within the even the light plan. So you can store a lot of information against someone. It does have the CRM-like interface as well, but it has your email marketing attached to it. So you can just send out your broadcast emails, or you can set out proper automations where it will send off emails depending on certain goals, etc. Now, why would you want to use a system like this? So as an example, again, if you are running workshops or an online program, for instance, and someone signs up, they could be added into the system automatically. They get the welcome email. They might have some other follow-up emails. You can then tag them within the system to say that they've purchased that program or workshop. And all of a sudden, you're building up information against that person's contact record, so you can see how they are interacting with your business. But not just that, when you start building your email list, you can then segment them within different categories. So, if you've got different workshops or there are different areas to your business, you can tag them with those tags, so that when it comes to doing your email marketing, you can pull up just those people that you know are interested in those topics. So you're not just sending out blanket email and basically alienating some of your list, because they're never going to open those emails because it's not something that is of interest, which then means that when you do send them an email that might interest them, they might not open it because of any previous emails that you have sent to them. So that is probably one of the main areas that I would say to look at when you're looking at creating systems and processes and automation within your business. Is look at the data that you want to store, and even look at some of the processes that you're currently doing. Map them out on a piece of paper so that you know what it is that you are actually doing, so that when you start creating these systems, you don't forget anything. But again, when you've built these systems, you've now got something that you can improve. When it's something that you're just sending out individual emails all the time, one, it's time consuming, especially if you're the only one in the business. You don't want to be sitting there for 3 or 4 days sending out 150, 200 emails because you don't have a system that will automatically do it for you. It's just time consuming. You could be doing better things with your time. So have a look at the CRM systems to send out emails for you, because it will save you so much time. Other areas that people kind of forget is even your website. A lot of the things on there can be automated as well. Your contact form, for instance. What happens when someone contacts you through that? Do you have processes in place? Does it go into a CRM system, or does it just go into your inbox? Do you have a process or happen that you follow when something hits your inbox? That's something else that you could be looking at to see how you could be kind of automating that as well. As I've said, onboarding new clients. Now, it doesn't have to just be when they've bought a product. It might be if they've bought a service from you. Do you have a process in place? And if you don't, why not? Now, I can look at myself as well. I need to put a few more of these processes in myself. But if someone signs up to a service, are you sending them welcome emails and thank you emails, etc., and further information? Now, again, when you're setting up your CRM system, and I'm talking about onboarding new clients or sending information once someone has signed up for a workshop or something like that. But again, going back to your website, do you have ebooks and reports that you could be using on your website to help with your lead generation? That again is an automated process, because if you've got that form on your website connected to a CRM system like ActiveCampaign, as soon as someone signs up, they then get your ebook welcome email saying, thank you for downloading this ebook. here's the link to download. But you shouldn't end just there. You should have follow-up emails to that as well. Maybe going back to certain parts of the ebook to make sure that people have actually read it. Once someone has gone through that and it's been a few weeks, have you added them into a nurture sequence, for instance? Are you sending them regular emails to make sure that people don't forget about you and the services that you might be able to help them with? It does take time. People don't always buy from you straight away. Sometimes it does happen, but most often people will buy when they're ready. And by sending out those kind of regular emails with good information, you're going to be top of mind when a time comes for them to look at someone, looking for someone to help them with their issue. And again, automating your marketing. Because you've now put them into these different nurture sequences, you know what ebooks they might have downloaded, seen maybe what workshops bought from you, you can build up a picture so that when it comes to marketing other new services, you can use that information to market to them. Frequently asked questions. Again, a lot of this is all to do with emails. Are there frequently asked questions that you get asked all the time? If so, why not have that as an automated email sequence that gets sent out to those clients? It's, if you're getting asked those questions a lot of times, then maybe again, it's something in your own process that you might need to amend to answer those questions. But you could always add in a frequently asked questions sequence as well, answering those questions directly. And again, when you're doing this, it's not just for the marketing side of it, it's for support as well. Do you have any kind of support software that when people are or have any issues, that email, it goes into your help desk, for instance, they might get an email back saying, thank you, we've received your inquiry, we will get back to you shortly. That is automating parts of that process as well, because now you've got it in a system where you can deal with it. You can have canned responses so that if there's the same questions being asked, you have the answer right there. You don't have to rewrite those emails. A lot of this is all about saving you time in your business, especially if it is just you in the business at the moment. I remember a client many years ago at the time, and I think that they still use Infusionsoft, but they weren't using it to its full extent. And as a lot of people know, Infusionsoft can be complicated and it takes time to learn. But once you know the system, it is very, very powerful. Now, this client is a first aid company, and a lot of their processes were manual. They had a part-time administrator coming in just to help them with all the paperwork, because they were filling piece of paper here, which would then be written to another piece of paper, which would then be inputted into the system. Now, when we looked at this and implemented a new system, we automated a lot of this process. So it was one input directly into Infusionsoft, which then sent off the joining instructions to the various participants, as well as when they have finished the course, their certificates were sent to them electronically, rather than them having to print it off, put it in an envelope and post it. All manual processes. And by automating a lot of their processes, we saved them thousands of pounds. Unfortunately, they didn't need the administrator anymore, and it's just a husband and wife running the company now from one office. And that's just an example of what you could be doing. And by automating and systemizing a lot of your processes, you can save yourself a lot of time, but also a lot of money. So my recommendation to you would be to kind of sit down with a piece of paper and work out what it is that you actually do in the business that could potentially be automated. What are your processes? Do you actually even have any processes at the moment that you follow, or is it when I remember? Once you start systemizing those bits and pieces, you will save yourself a lot of time, and you will improve your business as well, because you will have processes that you can then go through and improve upon. When you haven't got any processes, how do you know if you can improve if you're just doing it when you remember, then unfortunately there might be some things that fall through the cracks, and you don't want that, especially when you are the only person in the business. You want to try and keep everything there so that you remember everything, and everything is taken care for you. And again, by doing a lot of this automation, it might even put off the time that's required for you to then go and actually employ someone. You don't want to employ someone that just does all the admin tasks that could potentially be automated. You might want to actually employ someone that might do sales for you instead. So there's a lot of things like that you could think about, and seeing what could you do to automate those things in your business and help you in your business. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. Again, if you have any questions regarding anything that I've spoken about today, please leave them below, and I'll make sure that I answer them for you. Now, I'm going to go and grab myself another coffee, and I hope you have a great day.